Spoilers for everything. The third story arc of Sword Art Online features a villain named Deathgun who walks up to other players inside of a virtual reality MMO, shoots their in-game avatar with an in-game gun, and then moments later that player's real body in the real world dies. It's up to main characters Kirito and Sinon to find Deathgun and figure out how he's able to kill people in such an impossible way. As setups go, this isn't a bad one. The first arc of the show revolved around being trapped in a game designed to kill your real body if your avatar's health reaches 0, so what Deathgun's doing seems plausible enough, while the specific details make for a compelling mystery as to how he's doing it. You can tell right away that they're using our pre-existing knowledge of the first arc to facilitate what's going on now, but it isn't until the big reveal that we realize just how much. We'd been led to believe that Deathgun figured out a brand new way to use a virtual world to kill in real life, and we accepted that because it's happened before. The twist is that he hasn't. All the in-game stuff is a misdirect. Deathgun is multiple people. One of them operates the Deathgun avatar and locates their target in-game, while his partner in the real world breaks into the home of that player and kills them via injection. The police are clueless, nobody knows what's going on. Just like the viewers, all of the characters know what happened in the first arc and just take for granted that it must be someone exploiting VR again. And for a moment, I was happy. I love surprises. I think the ability to surprise your audience is essential to storytelling. So to see them so successfully manipulate me via my own knowledge and expectations, I loved it. I love that feeling. Then I thought about it for a minute, and I realized the entire story was terribly, terribly broken. See, the story establishes that the killers are so good at this. They can enter someone's home, murder them, and then exit without ever leaving any trace. The police are baffled because they can't find any sign of forced entry at all, and they can't locate any markings on the bodies of the victims. Which begs the question, what was the point of Deathgun? The killers go to an insane amount of trouble to make people think the game was killing people, to the point that the one doing the actual killing in the real world is standing in the home of the potential victim, watching a stream of the game and waiting until his partner controlling the Deathgun avatar shoots the victim's avatar, and then he administers the lethal injection. Deathgun even mugs for the camera and brags about being the one killing people. You might try to argue that it was all to throw the police off the trail, send them looking in the wrong direction because of what happened the last time people died in an MMO. But the police investigating these murders were already looking for real-world evidence of a more conventional crime, and coming up empty. They could have used the game to choose their victims, stalk their avatars to confirm a time when they'd be vulnerable in the real world, and that could be the end of it as far as the in-game portion is concerned, because, again, they're super good at killing people in the real world without ever leaving any evidence. All this Deathgun stuff really did was to draw as much attention to them as possible and cause the cops to bring in someone who's an expert at VR MMO death games to figure it all out. They probably would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for, well, Deathgun. This arc died for me the moment I realized that the Deathgun mystery was designed solely to fool the audience at home, not to make sense in the world that these characters occupy. They wanted that moment I described earlier, that aha moment of realization that I loved so much. But they didn't care how they got there. I'd argue that there are in fact good things about this arc. I like Sinon. She has a past trauma to overcome that makes a VR game the perfect setting to deal with it. But the main tentpole of this whole season was Deathgun, and seeing how poorly thought out that plot twist was just served to take the wind out of the entire thing. Just like Deathgun made himself out to be a killer even though his gun couldn't actually harm anyone, this arc promised to be a mystery with a good twist, but is really just firing blanks.